What is going on, everybody? It is Alex coming back at you with another video, and today we are going to be doing the long-awaited Detroit Lions 7-round mock draft. So, if you guys are new, you guys like the draft content, feel free to stick around, like, comment, subscribe. I don't need to teach you guys how to use YouTube at this point, but without further ado, let's jump right into this. I am doing it in draft order, so technically this should be the Rams, but I'm going to save those boring teams for maybe a later date. Might as well have a little bit of fun. Sooner rather than later, because honestly, I don't want to be fatigued. But we want to look at the roster first because I don't want to speak out of my ass when I'm telling you guys things, and it's kind of nice for us all to be on the same page. Starting off with the quarterback, Jared Goff. There are rumors that you guys want to go after another quarterback. I don't trust any of them, and they're not actually good rumors. They're not something that's like actually reliable. So don't worry, I'm not someone who's going to be going for a quarterback. I don't think that's really necessary. You have a 28-year-old quarterback that's been in the Super Bowl. Yeah, he was carried by Todd Gurley essentially that year, but I'm going to be honest, he's been able to go to a place that not many other quarterbacks have been able to. So I'd much rather build around him, and then if all else fails, I would go somewhere else. So that's where my headspace is at. Running back-wise, DeAndre Swift, we'll look at the free agents in a second. Jamal Williams was a big asset last year. He'll probably be back, in my opinion. I think he should be back. He's valued right there at $4.2 million. I'd be willing to do that for at least 1 year just because I love Jamal, but we'll talk about free agents in a minute. DeAndre is just usually hurt. He was my RB1 of that year, and, he's had some big flashes. I really do like him. Jamar Jefferson out of Oregon State was also a really cool guy to have on your squad. Doesn't look like he's going to be much of an impact, but still got to give him a shout out nonetheless. Jameson Williams, obviously he had, I think, one catch on the year, but, in that one catch, he showed what he could be. And I think that his role is going to continue to develop with Ben Johnson there. That was an absolute, 10 out of 10 move for your team. That was the best case scenario. So awesome to see that. Amon-Ra, absolute stud. I was about to say bust, and I was like, no, that's not correct. Amon-Ra is an absolute freak of nature. He's great. A little bit on the slow side, but he fits his role so damn well. He's super shifty for his size. Just pretty sure that his top speed's a little bit capped there. But again, he works super well. He produces, and he's a badass. Josh Reynolds is another dude who's honestly just kind of a role player at this point in his career. Quintez Cephas, not bad. I would say, we can talk about, where's he at? DJ Chark. I'd bring him back personally, but, it is up in the air as to whether that is going to happen, and we'll see about it. Tight end wise, I know a lot of people want to get another tight end. I would probably get one later on. Zylstra is pretty solid. To me, I'm a huge fan of James Mitchell, so I don't think you need to spend a top pick on a tight end. So, feel free to debate me there. I don't really like taking one of the tight ends, especially in the higher spots. But Penei Sewell is an absolute baller. He was my favorite in my highest graded tackle of all time. And, he's been able to carve himself a role that is guaranteed to get him paid $25+ million a year when his contract is up. Just big fan of Penei Sewell. Left tackle wise, Taylor Decker is great. Maybe we can get some extra offensive line depth as time goes on, but I do see a lot of guys who are in this guard group. Hal Vaitai, I don't know if you can save any money by cutting him after this year, but I think that guard spot is the one piece on offense that is definitely open for replacement, maybe besides running back. Jonah Jackson, I think he's solid. I think he's a solid player. So, you got some depth here. I don't think it's insane depth, but I don't think we need to spend that much draft capital on it. I like Frank Ragnow, especially when healthy. He's a very, very good player. So, big fan of that. Defensive line moving out. You do have some pieces here. Levi O, Alim McNeil's great. Michael Brockers is a good vet to have there, which, funnily enough, I think he was roasting Jared Goff when he was still on the Rams. So, or else I think he got moved. Either way, he shit talked Jared Goff, and all of a sudden he is now with Jared Goff. Gotta love that. But still a solid veteran presence right there. Romeo Okwara, Aiden Hutchinson is a beast. I loved Aiden Hutchinson. He was my edge one. Then you got guys like Josh Pascal, who when healthy will have a really nice role for the team, but I think he's going to be more situational. It's tough to find a good role for Josh. It really is, because I didn't even know how to fully grade him when I was looking at him. But, the sky's the limit with that guy. Look at the linebackers here. Malcolm Rodriguez was an absolute steal. That's great. I love the upside of Derek Barnes. I mean, pretty sure he's from Purdue. I really did like him coming out. Julian Aquara, another pass rushing linebacker. So, linebacker is not incredible. James Houston, that's another guy who I was thinking about. Really nice outside linebacker, stand-up pass rusher. He had some really good plays there. But linebacker, to me, definitely is a position that I would be looking to address. Safety-wise, Tracy Walker, Kirby Joseph, love it. Like, dynamic duo right there. Big fan of that. Looking at the DBs, continuing that, Jeff Okudah. Hopefully he continues to get back on track. I know that he has that upside. Obviously, we all thought he could be Stephon Gilmore. Not exactly living up to remotely close to that hype. Ifeatu Melifonwu, pretty sure he was a third-round pick, and I was pretty confident that he would have ended up being like a second, if not a late one, and he's definitely a solid player in my eyes. Chase Lucas, nice veteran presence. Even though he was drafted last year, he's still the tied oldest of the group, so he has experience. Maybe not saying veteran, but he has experience under his belt in terms of playing football. But, corner, yeah, we need to address that corner position. It's a pretty top priority for me. So let's jump right into the mock. Well, I do this every time. I forget to look at the free agents. But ones of note, Jamal Williams, I think we should bring him back for at least a year. DJ Chark, I'd do it in a heartbeat. This one, I think I will factor into the mock, because I do think wide receiver will be, I think he'll be brought back for 1 year because of the fact that there's Ben Johnson there. Not really going to be much more that you can upgrade to in terms of an OC. Deshaun Elliott, I liked him a lot, especially as a free agent pickup. I hope that he can get brought back and add some extra depth there. Anzalone, not bad. Jared Davis, not bad. Not necessarily starters in my eyes by any stretch of the imagination, but I think that they could, this team's not really, there's a reason you brought Jared Davis back. The bar is not super duper high. Other guys of note, I like actually John Kaminsky here. He's a good player. He's a good guy. So, nothing insane, just a couple key pieces in Jamal Williams and DJ Chark that we should address. But, it is what it is. Let's get right into the mock draft. Somehow PFF fucked everything up. I recycled this 4 times over, and Devon Witherspoon still goes at this pick. I don't know what crack PFF puts into their mock draft simulator, but I feel sometimes I might need some of that. So if we ever find out who the dealer is, we'll check it out. But at pick number 6, there are 2 routes that I want to go. It's Tyree Wilson as well as Joey Porter Jr. I think Christian Gonzalez is a little bit overrated. Michael Wilson made him look kind of like a child. And if you guys want to watch that, feel free to hit me up in Discord. It's a little bit tight right now because Dallas had a week of snow. So my school, SMU, was like, we don't allow Zoom classes anymore because we're some fancy bullshit. So it's been a little bit condensed, and then there's a lot going on. I already posted about it. Don't need to talk about it again. So just feel free to continue messaging me there. It will happen. But Christian Gonzalez got absolutely exposed. Joey Porter Jr. is my number 2 player in the class. I think that we could potentially get him at 18, but if not, I'd be perfectly fine with a plethora of these other DBs. So I like Tyree Wilson here. I don't think it's as big of a need as I'm maybe leading on, but he is someone who can play outside or inside. He has incredible length in terms of his arm length alone. He has great speed potential, and I think someone like Aiden Hutchinson, where he uses his body very well in terms of his bend, in terms of his just pure get off. It would be a really good guy to have Tyree learning with and learning behind. So I'm going to be going here at that position. CJ would make me kind of have pause and maybe say, oh, I would consider taking him. But I mean, I've already taken him twice before. I'm not going to continue doing that bullshit. But at pick number 18, I'm going to go Joey Porter here. My number 2 player in the class. I don't think I need to explain that very much. If he is on the board, I am snagging him 10 out of 10 times. I'll scroll down so you guys get to see a little bit more of my board. But now I'm looking at guys like Luke Whippler, John Michael Schmitz to play that guard role. Other people of note, I think linebacker. I mean, obviously we talked about it a lot. I don't want to continue drafting Trenton Simpson. I just did it literally. I think in my last mock draft, Jack Campbell would be great. Drew Sanders, I also just did. But we can also wait for Noah Sewell with that other pick. And I think that would be perfectly fine. It also fits the mantra of kind of like drafting guys who are related, which obviously Noah Sewell related to Penny. They are brothers. So I think going the offensive line route might be the most unique and cool option in my eyes. Minnesota, I'm thinking like, I mean, honestly, both these might be equidistant to Detroit, so it doesn't really matter. I was saying maybe some more scouts are watching Minnesota or Ohio State. I don't really think it is a big deal. I like John Michael Schmitz, but Luke is the more young prospect. I would much rather go after Luke Whippler because also I have him higher on my board. He's just a really good player, someone who I have a lot of respect for because he's super consistent. Pick number 55, I might go Sidney Brown here. I know we don't need a third safety, but I'm also just like dying to pair up Sidney Brown with Kirby Joseph, who was one of my dudes last year. Very excited that he's been able to kick some ass. But I might default back to the linebacker pick here. Corner definitely still should be considered. You got Keely Ringo here, which is absolute cheese. I mean, hell, if you could have Keely Ringo, Joey Porter, and I mean, God, that's ridiculous. But I kind of want to treat you guys well. I kind of like giving the Lions fans a little bit of a fun ride. I do say that someone like Keanu Benton might be worth it here. I don't know how many times I want to just shout out Jared Clark as the only other dude I'd pray for. I think that it's a little too much cheese to go after Keely Ringo because he's going to run like the 4.3s at 215 pounds. It's just, he's going to rise back up the boards. It's not fair to go for him at this pick. So we're going to go Keanu Benton. He is going to be adding into that interior meat as well. That sounded wrong, but he's a really damn awesome player. You know, Keanu, I restudied him. He looks much, much, much improved. So, got to tip my cap to him on that one. I mean, linebacker is probably the way we have to go with this pick. But, I mean, Drew Sanders is still going to be here. That just guts me. I mean, I can't continue taking Drew. I just took him 2 times ago. And he's not going to be a pick 95. That's complete bullshit as well. Like, I got to call it as I call it. Like, it's just ridiculous. He's my linebacker 1 and should be everybody's linebacker 1 unless you like really like the upside of Trenton Simpson. It just doesn't make sense. The more I watch of him, the more I realize that he's going to be a superstar. Noah Sewell is going to be the guy here, though. It just makes sense at this point. I know running back also should be considered, but you know, I mean, you just got to go after some things that are semi-realistic. We'll see what happens with these picks, and I would love for you guys to remind me why we had a massive pick differential. But at this spot, I mean, hell, you can grab some really good players here. Justin Shorter is great. I love Justin Shorter. I already just drafted him as well. He's one of my guys, so I'll tone down on it for you guys. I think another cornerback never is a bad thing. You know damn well I'm going to be super intrigued with Julius Brents every time he's on the board. I'm not going to continue reusing the Julian Brents card or the Starling Thomas card every single time. The fact you have Stetson Bennett as a top 170 player. Oh, PFF, you are absolutely stupid sometimes. But I'm looking at the running backs. Yes, I would love to go Deuce Vaughn. I can't do that every time. Man, this running back class does kind of fall off a cliff, though, doesn't it? That is intriguing to say the least. Because I'm not really a big fan of many of these guys. Maybe Abadakanda at this point is okay. Deuce Vaughn, you guys know my love for Deuce Vaughn. I don't really see him working here in Detroit, though. So go to free agency. It's a stacked free agency class, so I would personally go there if I were you. This might be the spot. This is a team that I could totally see taking one of my guys down the board. I'm going to go with it. We're going to opt for Josh Wiley to be in there with Zylstra as well as Mitchell. Wiley is and was my tight end 2 starting out the year, so got to show a little bit of love for you guys there. At this spot, I mean, you could go Ricky Stromberg and get another Arkansas center. I don't think that's necessary. We've gone defensive interior. We've gone cornerback. We've gone linebacker. We've gone guard. And now we went tight end as well. We're kind of just getting the best value. Kenny McIntosh might be someone who would be a good complement. I might want to just get some extra depth pieces, though. Not really a huge fan of what's on the board, to be fair. Not really a huge fan. I might end up going after Cameron Mitchell. I do like Cameron Mitchell quite a bit. You know, his tape a couple years ago was phenomenal. Maybe looking at the safeties who are available. Oh, man. This class is not great. Let's see. One more thing I'm going to check out. Linebackers. And you got D. Winters here. You got Servassier Dennis, both guys who I'm going to like. I'm going to go after D. Winters and get some extra linebacker help in there. Pick number 195. I might be opting for a defensive back because I really do want to find somebody, and I think that Cam Mitchell is going to be the right dude for this team. Carrington Valentine's another one of my guys in this draft. Obviously not based on all 22, but based on just the consistent week-to-week performances. But, you know, I do really like what we have seen from Cam Mitchell in years past. I hope that he's able to get his head and ass wired together and be able to make some big plays. But that's going to be the draft. Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for supporting me as always. See you on the far side. Peace.